Everybody. Happy day 36 of quarantine. If you are in Spain, today was just gorgeous, so sunny and so beautiful. It was a gift to be able to see the sunshine. It's been raining for like a good couple weeks here, so lots to be grateful for today. We are going to jump into just a really therapeutic art project today. What's awesome about this one is it's super simple, but the effects can be really cool depending on the way that you shade later or the way that you draw them, and I'll walk you through that. I call them like worm drawings, worm line drawings, however you'd prefer. But before we jump into that, let me pray for you, and then we'll get started. God, thanks so much for the sunshine today and the gift to be in this world and be a part of the creation that you've made. I pray blessing over everyone that is watching. Would you give them your encouragement and your care today? In whatever ways they need, God, would you go before them? I also just pray over this week of school for my students and for students around the world, Lord. Give them stamina and energy to complete the tasks before them in a way that honors you and offers their best, Lord. We love you. Amen. Great. Well, thanks so much for joining me. It's good to have you with me. Let's just jump right in. Today is super simple. I wanted to leave it nice and simple for us. This is Monday. Take it easy. I need just a piece of paper. I have mine taped off into kind of a square. That kind of helps me focus on just one specific space. But if for you decide you want to use the whole paper, all the power to you. I also just have a black pen. I brought these from the States. Any black pen will be great. So what we're going to do, let me turn my camera so you can see. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper and we are going to create squiggly lines going from the side farthest from you towards your body. Remember that when we draw, if we want to draw straight lines, we want to start away from our body, pull the lines towards us. But because these are squiggly, I find starting away from your body actually just helps you have more control with where those wiggles want to go. So I'm going to draw probably 8 to 10 of these across this line from this part of my paper to the very top, like this. And if they shouldn't ever connect, but if you want to have your lines kind of respond to each other, you definitely can. And by that, I mean, if this line is arching this way, my line could arch an opposing way to kind of create a moment of visual interest. Totally up to you for how you want it to work. But essentially, yeah, you're just going to keep these lines coming. And that was looking really good. I might have just actually hit my target amount. Perfect. So your paper should look something like mine. Of course, the wiggles will be all your own, but this is kind of the gist of what we're going for. Next, we're going to create a perimeter around the paper to kind of help us understand the space that we have. What I do is just use these tape guides, and I rest my pen and drag it up towards me, towards each corner. So essentially what I'm going to be doing is drawing a frame. If you have a ruler and you'd like to use that instead, you go for it. I try to keep it simple and let the tape be my friend. So I just let the tape kind of guide my pen here. And then we'll flip our paper this way, do the same thing with these lines on the side. If your pen jumps off the page and goes onto the tape, that's okay because that's why the tape is there. Perfect. So we've got this, and we've got a perimeter. Awesome. So 3 minutes in, and we've got sort of the whole structure for our page already decided. Way to go. High five yourself or pat yourself on the back, whatever works best for you. Next, onto the worm part of the drawing. So what we're going to do is treat each of these kind of wiggly columns as spaces that either arc up or are arced down or inverted. So let me show you what I mean by that. This will, if you watch my video on those motion maps, you can use some of those same kind of like line motions and apply them here, although we'll use them a little bit differently. But if you're thinking like, oh, I've seen this before, look at you, good student, bringing it back, recycling that knowledge, love it. So taking it like this, I'm essentially just going to start by creating a series of almost stripe arches, kind of like this, trying to keep the distance apart, the width in between them to be about the same, and connecting each of the spaces between this column. My paper kind of sounds like a knife, or my pen on paper sounds like a knife. So there's that. I'm trying to keep a very similar language. So down here, these lines are arced. I'm just continuing this same sort of soft bend to each of these lines up here. Okay. Great. Now, almost done with this one. Now this is when the choice to respond to these lines with the next lines that you draw is going to be really important. So because these lines have an energy that kind of almost looks like a pocket coming down like this, a great way to add contrast and movement into your piece is to do lines that echo. So think sine, cosine, think clapping hands. You can think a lot of different things, but we use these lines kind of as a jump start to go the opposing direction. So if these lines are cupped up like this, my next lines are going to be inverted like this. So I'm going to take these lines and arc them the opposite way, like this, from the top of my paper. I'm going to invert it so that I can see from where I am. But you're going to essentially, continue the same sense of motion, just like that. Perfect. Did you guys have a good weekend? Were you able to at least get some time with the windows open maybe, or get some grocery shopping? I know some stores have been out of flour for a while, so if you've had the itch to get baking, I hope you were able to track down everything you need. Awesome. So again, we're continuing lines just like this, working all the way up. I'm not actually pairing each of these lines across this column exactly, and that's totally okay. If yours happen to line up, all the power to you, but no problem. No worries if not. Okay, great. So not all my lines are perfect, but that's okay. It's a Monday. Sometimes you have to give yourself a little slack. Okay. Awesome. So again, just a quick review. We've got in this column over here, we have lines that are cupped, and then we have other lines that are responding by saying, here, let me offer you something. And then you can probably guess where we're going, but we're going to be alternating each of these every other. Oh, my mom said hi. Hi, how are you? So we'll do the opposite direction here again. Because these lines arc down, we're going to kind of create an opposing line in this column. So let me show you. I'm going to turn it this way so I can see too. Now, as you notice, this column starts to get really, really wide, and some of these lines might look a little funny, but just cross them with the same confidence, and the illusion will be kept concrete. Awesome. Today, I started to really feel like at least the earth in Spain is really transitioning towards warmer times. And I know once I say that, it'll get cold tomorrow, but I was outside today and actually we're in the sunshine and I got sunburned on half of my face today. I want to clarify for those of us that are in quarantine, I was outside legally in space in the home. So you don't have to freak out or anything. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I've got 3 columns decided, and I actually just made a mistake and did the same pattern again. So go team. That's what happens sometimes when I talk. But we'll do the opposing line. This is going to be cool because the way we shade these can really differentiate the movement here. But if you did yours the opposite direction, you did the right instructions. So again, we're going to go the opposite direction and actually go the opposite direction for this next column, just like this. There we go. Great. Ooh, I can feel the Mondays. I didn't even need students to feel the Mondays in person. Well, they're always kind when they're like, Miss Shirley, I don't think you mean what you said. So that is, they're kinder maybe than I am talking to myself on this video, but okay, cool. So we're working our way. This line or this column has a little bit more variety, and that's great too. Looks fabulous. I've heard it's almost semi-official that, oh my goodness, hi Uma. Okay, you gotta go. You gotta go. Oh my word. Okay. Um, so here's that. Arcing our way all the way down. Just like that. Oh, thanks for your grace, Christina. I love that. Okay, so again, we're going to alternate this pattern by responding with a different type of arc, and we're going to continue this way. Okay, dokie. Great. No, you can't come on my laptop. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, go inside. Oh my word. Okay. Wow, this is hilarious. Okay, so that is bizarre. Okie dokie. Getting these lines nice and arced. Lovely. Okay, question of the day. If you had to become a frozen dessert of some kind, would you be a popsicle, B, a frozen ice cream cone, C, an ice cream sandwich, or D, one of those like lemonade pop things? Have you had those? They're fabulous. I haven't had one in a long time, but fond memories of like after soccer games or something like that. Just like that. Okay, so we're continuing. Let's see. Great, so got that line. Again, we're going to arc the opposing direction. If you have an answer to the trivia, you just send a little comment in here and let me know. I think that lemon thing sounds really good, so maybe I'd go with the lemon popsicle thing, lemon dreamsicle slushy thing. Normally I'm not like a iced fruit person, but it sounds good today. Maybe it's just the sunshine that's making me feel like, it's summer again. It's getting close. I don't know. Something like that. Wow. Okay, well, because you're watching this video and we're going to be completing the last of these columns in the same way, I figured I'd tell you my latest story about living in Spain. I haven't baked a ton since being here, but yesterday I took a chance and decided to make like a really, really basic like vanilla cake. Like think like vanilla white birthday cake, nothing wild. And I thought I did everything right, and it came out of the oven, and literally no joke, the entire thing looked like cornbread. I used nothing corn based whatsoever, nothing, not even like a hint of like corn flour, corn syrup, nothing, literally nothing, and it tasted just like cornbread. So I don't know if that was like the person's intent or not, but I got an amazing cornbread out of the deal. So that's wonderful. But definitely didn't, when you prepare to have a cake and then it comes out as like something very different, sometimes you get a little like, this is confusing. So those of my friends who are watching this, that you're from the South and you're like, sweet, that's awesome. I am going to just try to glean that excitement from you because I was a little disappointed I want a birthday cake, but it's okay. I'm learning that flours and like leaven for different types of like baked goods are really different here. And because of that, the ratios and recipes that I have come to know and love do not work quite the same. So I'm on a hunt for a couple other different types of flour, I think. Might have to go back to my sister. She has a really, really great peanut butter cookie recipe that I think uses like almond flour. So maybe I'll try that because that's a little bit more reliable. I've been told Spanish flour is just a little bit different. Not bad, just they behave differently than the flours that I'm accustomed to, especially for baking purposes. Okay, so we're wiggling our worm lines all the way down. Continue. We got 2 columns left. Okay. Oh, my mom said, okay, she said lemonade slushy. Yes, we're on the same page. Like mother, like daughter today. I love it. Also, hi, Rebecca. It's good to hear from you. Miss seeing teachers in the hallways and students in the hallways, missing my elementary kiddos. I was telling someone today, I was like, I miss the way that they they always have great ideas, and I'm always inspired by them. I feel like it's always a great way to keep learning because they have a different perspective than I do. So awesome. Oh, Christina just offered to bring me groceries. That's the sweetest. I will text you about that because, dang, I never say no to groceries if I can help it. And Rebecca, I think almond flour, can be found at Costco, but I'm not entirely sure. That's where I would buy it because I would buy it by like a 10 kilo bag or something. I also just want to say that was me showing off that I'm working at understanding different systems of measurement. It's been a real growth point for this week because I've had to translate all things into the metric way, which is good. But I will say that it has taken some patience and time to work on it. I'm still not like totally 100% with like the whole kilometer like ratio to miles. I can like do the conversion, but still when people say like this many kilometers, like it just doesn't mean anything to me. I just don't understand it yet, but I will someday soon. Someday soon. We're in the last column. This is looking so wild. Even from like back there, these lines kind of start talking to you back and forth, which is great. That is exactly what it's supposed to do. Okay. Awesome. So we finished that column, looking good. This is great. Okay, now comes the fun part. So what I like to do for these is to kind of go with an every other sketch pattern in between each of the lines here. This can get a little bit tedious, so if you do have a thicker black marker and you prefer to just kind of do like some simple shading, you totally can do that. It'll kind of become a little more Willy Wonka-esque with stronger lines, but whatever works for you, literally anything. I'm just gonna start with this top column and I'll show you what I mean, and then you can take it from there. Perfect. So up here, I'm just going to do just slight shading like this. It almost looks like squiggle lines, kind of like that. But from a distance, it will turn into like a gray. That's my lines up close. And then we'll take it back. Pull my camera up a little bit so you can see. Great. Just like that. Now, I'm going to work my way down this first column, going every other. And then what I'm going to do is hop into the column to its right. And I am going to alternate the best I can with lines that kind of echo the empty spaces in the column next door. If that description didn't make sense to you, I will show you in approximately 4 seconds. Okay, great. So because this line is a blank, according to the design that I have, I'm going to shade this column like that and continue vice versa. This one's almost easier to do this way, I think. Great. I have heard that informally kids get to go outside in the next like a week or something here, which is so great. I can't imagine the relief for them, and then also for parents too. It's so hard not being able to run and stretch and breathe. Cat's coming back for me. Okay, great. So my hand kind of covered up a couple of those, but that's kind of where we are so far. Now, I've established 2 of these in this way, and I think for this third one, I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to continue because these lines both arc the same direction. In these 2 columns, I'm going to continue the same lines and almost kind of create a twofold, I guess, like visual stripe. Maybe that's the word I would use for it. So I'm going to continue like this with the same squiggles through those lines. I love these little squiggles because they're so fun. They have so much energy packed into like a little amount of space. Just like that. They do kind of play some mind tricks on you, which is part of why I love these drawings. They're so fun. Okay. Great. How's yours coming? Doing okay? Getting some good drawing in. Okay, there's that. And now that I have continued these 2 lines with these same kind of marks going this way, it's sometimes helpful to look vertically or horizontally at the paper just to kind of check out how you're doing. What I am going to do is continue that ribbon across, connecting some of these lines across into the next column. So just like this. Okay. There isn't like a set of rules per se for these drawings, but I do find if you can connect some of the lines, granted, if you didn't make this mistake like I did, it would be all right. Oh, Christina, I made too many squiggles. Sorry. Oh no. It does take a while. That is for sure. There's that. Looking so good. So good. Okay. No. I finally made friends with the cat, and now she just wants to hang out all the time, which is hilarious because this is the one time I couldn't hang out all day. Okay, so there's that. We're continuing. Looking great. So good. Right. Neighbors just open the windows so you can hear all that's going on in their house, which is funny. Okay, great. So continuing onwards, continuing dragging these lines all the way across the paper, and we'll keep just chipping away here, chipping away at our list. Okay. Anybody else want to weigh in on the question of the day? Dreamsicle, popsicle, lemonade slushy thing, or ice cream cone? Let a girl know. It's summer mood, but let me know what you think. Okay. Well, since we have a little bit of time just to chat, I thought I would touch base on that project I had some of my students do last week about service in their houses. I had them volunteer to help either organize or clean or do some sort of active service around the home. And that was like their assignment during my class because we're learning about art as a form of service of organization. And then we have a couple other new parts of that lesson this week. We're going to be talking about art as a form of collection and how artists often collect ideas and different things and then create artwork through combining these ideas. And so I'm really excited because they have a fun week ahead doing some collections and collages, all sorts of fun stuff. I'm really excited. Just going to keep working my way up the paper. So that'll be kind of fun. I did get to see some photo documentation of all of the fun things that they did, and they did such a great job. So having a proud teacher moment, even amidst the distance, they're doing great. If you're in the States and you're feeling discouraged about teaching, or if you're in Europe or wherever you are, I just would encourage you to rest in the fact that God knew all along that we were going to be finishing the school year this way, and that it's such a great opportunity to sit and rest in the fact that his plans, they just are always different than ours, and yet the care from his hand is constant. What a gift. what a gift that is. And if you're watching this right now and you don't know what I'm talking about when I say that, like, please shoot me a message. I'd love to tell you about how I've found that peace and get the opportunity to live in that peace and patience. I'd love to share that with you. So we're continuing with these lines and just working our way through. Hopefully by now, even from the distance here, you're continuing to see that these lines are kind of starting to worm and wiggle around the page. I find that this every other kind of mark making really helps create the illusion of some depth, which is nice. Sometimes I think people think drawing is like so hard, and there are definitely days where I feel that is the case. But I think we have to remember that there are times where it's just the simple things, simple little things. And putting in the time and putting in the practice is really what matters, because you'll see that work pay off and multiply. I call it like multiplying behind your back. Like you get to see so much of the fruit of that, especially if you keep to kind of put in the work every day. So this is a great way to just kind of get your brain moving. So I would encourage you, if you're like, oh, mine does not look like how I want, that's totally okay. Every drawing is a practice for the next drawing. And what a gift that we have the chance to even use our hands and be precise like this. What a cool opportunity. Yeah, so awesome. Okay, continuing. How's yours looking? Doing okay? This last part can be a haul. Part of why I tape my paper off so that I can really appreciate the border afterwards of space, because the inside of this drawing is so busy. Sometimes you need that border to really show you, in some ways, show you visually what you've done, because you have a border. For my students, I call borders like a breath of fresh air. It helps our eyes know exactly where we need to look. And when we have that border, we're able to recognize, okay, this is the important thing the artist wants us to see. So it has my attention and I can look right there. Hence the border. Okay. No. Oh my gosh, this cat is just killing me right now. It's so funny. Okie dokie. Looking great. 2 rows left. If you're in the long haul, you got it. You got it. Awesome. Looking so good. Okay. Nice. Well, I got the chance to talk to my mama today, which was a gift. Things have been wild at my house at home. People cleaning and getting stuff done. My sister's home from school, so it's been fun getting to reconnect with her with a little bit more flexibility, because her schedule has a little bit, with online classes, you have a little bit more margin sometimes. And getting to chat with her and my sister, my other sister too, my brother. John, you're on my hit list to call this week. So there's that. Last column. You guys were doing so good. So good. Okay. I do have to say, though, normally Amazon Spain is not ideal with timing and shipping. I've not had a positive, overall, not a hugely positive experience. But they came through. I had stuff get delivered, and that's just a praise item. I thought amidst the corona nothing would come through, but watercolors came in the mail, stuff came in the mail. Praise Jesus. Awesome. Okay, y'all. here we are, wiggly worm drawings. The only thing I would do from here would be to darken the lines dividing each of these columns just a little bit more to give it a little bit of intensity, and then rip out the tape, give it a signature, and you are all set to go. So again, here's the final. That. And let me pray and bless you before we go. Thanks so much for doing art with me. God, I pray a blessing over these people, give them energy and courage as they go about the rest of what today holds. Thank you that your plans, thank you that your plans are different, and thank you that your plans are still good. We trust you and we love you. It is in Jesus' name that I pray. Amen. Sweet. Well, it is a gift to do art with you. I hope that you had a relaxing time decompressing into these wiggly worm drawings. And if you have any questions about that patience I talked about or that piece that I talked about earlier, I'd love to share that with you. So shoot me a message, slide into my DMs, whatever it takes. I would love to share that with you. Again, I'm Meg. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Bye.